Let's face it, selling a home can be massively stressful. It's a huge financial decision for most people. Today, let me share with you our team's four-phase approach to selling your home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time and minimizing that stress as much as possible. My name is Mike Novak. I'm a real estate agent, part of the Novak real estate team. Our team is located in Snohomish County, and we service all of this area, all of this county. This is where we all live. This is where we all work. And this is the community with which we serve as well. Our team has helped over 1,000 families right here in Snohomish County make a move. This is all we do, and we do it at a very, very high level because of that. There's 20 people on our team. We're a mixture of agents and support staff, but collectively, we make up the Novak team. And today, I'm going to share with you our team's four-phase approach to selling your home. The first phase is what we call the preparation phase. Typically, what we will do is we'll come out to your house. We will walk through the home with you, see the updates you've done to your home because the condition has a massive impact into how much your home may sell for. And then we will show you comparable sales, homes that are similar size, age, condition, that are close in proximity to your house, and show you how much they were listed for and how much they sold for. From there, we can get a very good idea of exactly how much your home could sell for in the current market. And we'll show you if you paid off your mortgage and paid all your closing costs, how much money would be left. That's called your estimated net proceeds. So that's really the first step, is what we call a home valuation appointment. And from there, you got to make the decision if you want to list your house or not list your house. If you're going to decide to list your house, then we make an agreement to work together. And once we've got that signed, we come back and we do what we call a home editing walkthrough. This is something that makes our team very unique that a lot of agents don't do. A lot of agents just let their clients kind of be left to their own devices on what to do to the home to get it ready. That's not how we roll on our team. We have certified stagers on our team. One of our certified stagers will come to your home and they will go room by room with you and create a customized, curated checklist for you so you know exactly what our recommendations are for each space of your home. Doesn't mean you have to do all this stuff. This is just our suggestions. And I will tell you, the clients that do everything are the clients that get the most amount of money at the end of the day for their house. So the home editing walkthrough is really that first big step. And from there, sometimes it takes people a few days to knock out that home editing checklist. Sometimes it takes a couple of months, just depends how much you want to do. Of course, we help you with contractor referrals, vendors, things like that, whether you need someone to steam your carpets, to replace some hardwood floors, to do some electrical work, whatever. We have a Rolodex of qualified contractors that we will give you access to if we're working with you. So getting the execution of that home editing checklist completed really varies in timeline, but sometimes, it typically takes like 3 to 4 weeks, just depending how much stuff to get done. Simultaneously to that, we will send you over what we call a Google form. And in this Google form, there's a whole bunch of questions that only you as the owner of this home knows. And this is really important you fill this out accurately because it gives us all the information we need to accurately list your home. So we look through it, we verify everything looks good to us, but obviously as the owner of the home, you want to make sure everything you're listing is very accurate. And we use this Google form to simplify that process, okay? From there, we just come back out, make sure all the home editing walkthrough checklist items are completed, and then we go ahead and we do soft staging. Our team soft stages most of our homes. If it's vacant, we may do virtual staging or physical, real, like actual furnished staging too. We've got different options available depending on if it's vacant or not. But showing your home just empty is not the way to go, whether if it's online or in person, not recommended. People can't imagine the space at all. So we will typically soft stage the home. Sometimes there's full staging, just depends on which package you decided to use and what you need from services from us. But we'll go out, we'll get the soft staging done. Typically takes about a day or two. Right after the soft staging is done, we then do the photography. So we use a real estate specific photographer. That's all he does is real estate. He's not just someone that's out doing like family portraits one day and then real estate the next. This is all he does. He does it at a super high level. So we will typically do the real estate photography and the drone photography on the same day. From there, we get all of your marketing ready. So in Washington State, you can't actually start marketing the home until it's live in the MLS. It's against the rules. So we get all of that marketing done up front so that the day we decide to go live, we know exactly that everything's ready to go. We can hit that go button and turn everything on. So that typically includes things like building websites, building ads, writing content for your house, whether it's like the listing content or ad content, things like that, getting all your photos labeled. All of that marketing preparation happens before we actually go live. So these are all things that happen in that first phase, which, like I said, it's called the preparation phase for a reason, preparing to get your home on the market. And again, how long this takes is really up to you. Some clients blast through it in a week. Other clients, it takes a couple of months, totally up to you. That brings me to phase two. This is going live. This is a much easier step for you. This is where we start doing some heavy lifting. We will do an updated market analysis on your home right before we're ready to take it to the market. And this is where we'll confirm the price with you. We wait until this time to finalize the price for a couple of reasons. But the most important reason is if we're looking at the price of your home a month before and then a whole bunch of competition comes on during that next month, it could completely change the price that you decide to list your home for. So we want to look at all of the active competition and see what is out there. Sometimes it may mean that your home goes for less price than what you thought because there's some really strong competition that's got maybe a more competitive space, or it's lower priced or whatever else. And sometimes you may even push the price higher because there's no competition or your home is positioned perfectly to beat out the competition that is out there. But we do the price confirmation once we see the photos, once we see how all the home editing checklist items got completed and how the finished space looks. That's when we hop on the phone with you, we finalize the price, and then we go ahead and hit the go button. We go ahead and push it live. Like I said, we've got everything already preloaded on the marketing side, and our team works together. This takes a couple of people in our team to do this simultaneously, but we turn on all of your marketing, things like your single property site, which is your website just for your home, all of the listing in the MLS, everything, all the ads, that all has to be done and turned on all at the same time, okay? And that happens just as soon as we go live in the MLS. So that's what we'll call your launch date. It's a really exciting day. You got to be ready for showings right out of the gates because it very well may happen with just, kind of where the market's at right now. So be ready for showings right away. I'll talk more about showings here in just a minute, but that's phase two, is just launching it to the market. Okay, that brings me to phase three. Phase three is what we call the active listing phase. This is where you're actively on the market and we're promoting your home and advertising and marketing it for you. So how long it's on the market totally depends on a whole bunch of variables like the price range, how aggressively you priced it, how it's perceived by the market, how much competition you have, all of these other things. But you want to be ready for showings, like I said, right away. What we're looking for is we're looking for at least 3 to 4 showings a week, just depending on the price point. We'll give you a customized number based off of your unique home's location and price range. But there's a minimum really of 3 or 4 showings a week that you want to see to make sure we've nailed the price and how the market is seeing your home. Remember, we don't set the price for your home. We list it at a certain price. The market decides if that's what it's worth or not. That's why it's called a market, right? But we are confirming the price the first couple of weeks that we're on the market, and we're confirming the price based off of a couple of key benchmarks. The first one is the amount of showings that happen, and then offers. If we're getting a lot of showings, we're not getting offers, it means we have a pricing issue. If we're not getting any showings at all, we definitely have a pricing issue. So we got to really closely look at that and make sure your home is priced correctly and confirm that pricing, okay? We'll typically do an open house the first weekend. We like to do open houses. The first weekend comes on the market. Then if there's a price optimization later on, that's when people actually really pay attention to open houses. So we want to make sure that initial weekend you got a good big splash on your home and get people through the house at those open homes. So typically it's like 12 to 2 p.m., but the hours totally just vary based on what the availability is and a whole bunch of other factors. But plan on open house your first weekend as long as you're in a location that makes sense to do that, and know that it's great exposure for your home, okay? From there, we jump to offer negotiations. So as the home's on the market, as people are touring it, you can expect that if it's been priced right, you're going to get some offers on that home after a period of time. When you get those offers in, our job, again, is really just kind of getting started. The offer we receive is usually not the offer that we just sign off on and say, hey, that looks good. It's awesome if it goes that way, but more often than not, we have to clean up terms. We have to negotiate price. We have to negotiate all the different variables that go into the offer. There's often dozens of factors we're looking at when we're negotiating on your behalf. And this is where we really earn our money, not just in the marketing, but in how we represent you in the active negotiations for offers on your property. We're very aggressive and we are firm, but we are fair with the other side. We try to find that win-win, but we are absolutely there to net you the most amount of money. And a lot of that comes down to how we negotiate on your behalf. So that wraps up phase 3. That's the offer negotiations. Once you've got your offer negotiated, you've got it signed around, that brings us to step 4. Phase 4, the escrow process. Typically, this is going to be about 30 days from when the offer is accepted to when the home closes and the buyer gets possession of the house. The first thing that's going to occur is the buyer is going to deposit their earnest money into the escrow account with the escrow company. So that's a neutral third party that holds all the money, moves all the money around, signs everybody for closing documents, things like that, make sure the lenders get paid off, works with the new lender, all of that fun stuff. So they will deposit their earnest money. They have 2 business days to do that. And again, that money is held by a neutral third party. It's not held by us. It's not held by the buyer's agent or anything like that. It's held by an escrow company. Okay. And again, 2 business days to deposit those funds. That is your security deposit. They're going to operate on good faith and follow through with the contract to close this home, subject to a few contingencies. Okay. The first contingency is the inspection contingency. Most people are going to want to inspect a home, so plan on that. The purpose of an inspection is not to nitpick little cosmetic things. It's to protect the buyer from big ticket items, things that maybe you don't see every day as a homeowner, up in the attic, down in the crawl space, rodent activity, mold, things like that, or big ticket items like a cut, truss in the roof or a new roof that needs to be put on, things like that. So if there's a big issue, you need to be prepared to address it as a seller. That's just, something you're going to have to deal with. Typically, what I will recommend to you is that you have the home pre-inspected before you list it, so you know if there's any issues. That's the smartest way to do it. You can tackle those issues before you even come to the market. That increases the chances that a buyer is going to waive their inspection contingency. It's just one more, way to keep the contract really tight and make sure the buyer's actually going to close on the property. The problem with an inspection contingency is it's a very broad and powerful contingency for the buyer. It allows the buyer to back out for any reason if they want to. It doesn't even have to be an inspection issue. So you want to make sure the inspection happens pretty quick. And you want to make sure that, again, we're very aggressively negotiating on your behalf to focus this on big ticket items that the buyer was not aware of when they offered on the home. We'll help you out with all of that. At that point, after you get through the inspection hurdles, you're on to the appraisal phase. The appraisal is just a third-party valuation of the home by the lender to make sure it's worth what the buyer is paying for it. Again, shouldn't be a big deal for you as a seller, just something you need to be aware that is happening, okay? After that, expect the buyer to do a final walkthrough. You do not want to be in the home where they're doing this final walkthrough. They're looking to make sure that everything that was supposed to be done out of the inspection is completed, the home's reasonably clean, the appliances are still there that are supposed to stay, and you're actually starting to move out of the home. Expect that to happen a day or 2 before the closing date, okay? Simultaneously to the walkthrough, you can expect to sign your loan documents. That, again, happens a day or 2 before the closing date. The buyer does not own the home when this happens, just really the final step in the process. The escrow company will do this with you. Plan on about half an hour to do that. Last is closing day. You're going to know your closing day is back when you got your offer signed around, when you've got mutual acceptance to it, so you can plan towards that date, but you need to be out of the home on the closing day. Typically, you want to make sure you're out of it by about noon, 1 p.m., give the buyer some wiggle room to get moved in and start their process of actually getting into the house. Legally, you have until 9 p.m. on closing day to vacate the home, but you really don't want to be that guy. You want to be out of there in the morning, if not the day before, and give the buyers nice, easy access to the home. Don't be a stickler on that. Be generous with that and make sure the buyer has access to the property they just closed on. They're excited. They want to move in. You want to move on to the next chapter of your life. That brings me to the final step, and this is the most exciting step for most of our sellers. It's getting your proceeds, getting that big check from selling your house. Typically, it's a wire or a check from the escrow company. It usually happens 24 to 48 business hours after your home is closed. If your home closed on Friday, expect you have proceeds on Tuesday the next week is just kind of a rough example. It depends on the escrow company. It depends how you want to get your proceeds. A wire tends to be really fast, but just, kind of plan on that. If you're buying a home at the same time, there's a whole bunch of other logistics we have to think through and making sure that your proceeds from your sale, the amount that needs to be put into a down payment, is going to the next escrow company to close on your purchase, but we'll help you with all that coordination as well. This is kind of just the high level view of selling a home. This is really just scratching the surface level. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a reason there's a team of us here and not just a single agent trying to wear all of these hats and do all these things. Our agents, they are the top 1% in Snohomish County, and they are able to do that because they focus on just a couple of things. They're going to be negotiating super hard on your behalf and making sure your best interests are always looked out for. They're going to be planning, coordinating all these different things that have to be done as well, backed up by our world-class support and marketing as well. It's Mike Novak from the Novak Real Estate team. Reach out to me. Love to be a resource for you on selling your home.